Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Stellaris short series. Previous episodes I focused on mineral focus, energy focus, research focus, balanced species, being the perfect diplomats, unity focus, a couple different other focuses. This episode is going to be on crafting the best hive mind, or at least in my idea. There are a couple different ways you can go about crafting a pretty good hive mind, but I'm going to talk about one strategy that's very beneficial, and I'll explain why, which is pretty much, I'll just explain why right now. This is going to be a heavily adaptive focus hive mind. I created a species with extremely adaptive, which gives us plus 20% to habitability. Now you already get with a hive mind, you already get a bonus of 10% to habitability. But when you're a hive mind, whenever you conquer another empire, take another planet, which is what hive minds do, especially with devouring swarm, you're pretty much capturing the entire galaxy. You're a swarm species that goes from system to system, taking planets, and eating the populations. When that happens, when you take other species, other planets, you end up cleansing them. And so you need to be as adaptive as possible. You need to be able to colonize as many different planet types as possible. And so I feel the best hive mind species would be the most adaptive to their environments, to any environment. So with the plus 20% adaptive trait here, and the 10% from being a hive mind, that's plus 30% to your adaptability. And let's just quickly kind of jump into planet types. If you are, let's say for instance your planet type is Alpine World. With Alpine World as your planet type, it means every Alpine world in a galaxy is going to be, just at the start, 80% habitability. Your home world is automatically 100%, but every other Alpine world in a galaxy is 80%. Now, with extreme adaptability, and the hive mind adaptability, you're automatically at 100% on every Alpine world. Now, any other frozen planet, like for instance an Arctic world or a tundra world, will be at 60% as default. Now, with those traits, again, that plus 30% means that the tundra world and the Arctic world will be at 90%, which makes colonizing very easy. So pretty much the way this is working, the way I have this hive mind set up, at the beginning of the game you can colonize any frozen world with ease, and your pops will grow faster on those worlds. And then you go into the other planet types. For instance, a wet planet or a dry planet. If your home world is an Alpine world, or that's your Alpine preferences, that means any wet world or dry world is going to just start off at 40%. Or is it 40% or is it 30%? Let's look. Let's look. Boop. I can't see. There we go. It doesn't show me the percentages. But you're going to start off, I believe, at either 30 or 40%. I'm pretty sure 40% on worlds that aren't of your class. If they're not a frozen world, if they're a wet world or a dry world, you're at 40%. So with the adaptability traits, you can colonize any of those worlds. It'll put them at like either 60% or 70%, which is a huge boost for you. That's why I created the species the way I did. I made them extremely adaptive because as a hive mind, you need to be able to colonize any planet right away. Now, they're not impacted by happiness. That's not one of the reasons why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because they need to be able to reproduce, because a lot of people aren't going to like you, especially as a devouring swarm. You're a target the moment you start, and that's one of the other things about being a hive mind. The best hive mind species, the most effective hive mind species, will be a devouring swarm because of the bonuses. There are negatives. For instance, there's no diplomacy, which means you can't vassalize, you can't make any defense pacts, you can't make any non-aggression pacts. I don't think there might even be trade. I don't think you can have trade agreements. There's no diplomacy, there's no communication, no one can talk to you, no one can build alliances with you. All they can do is go to war with you. You can't join any federations, so that's one of the negatives of being devouring swarms. If you're not a very aggressive player, then this isn't the best build for you. But devouring swarms get the following bonuses. They eat pops, which means they produce a lot of food whenever they colonize a world with other aliens on it. And that's a lot of food. Each pop generates 5 food. So if it's a size 18 world and there are 15 pops, then those 15 pops will produce about 75 food from that one planet, which is excellent. That's a lot of food. And so, and of course, the more food you have, the faster your pops will grow. And also, with the devouring swarm, with every pop, you generate society research, which is excellent because it'll mean that you will develop certain researches faster, and you can blow through the society chain quickly if you, for instance, capture, say, 5 worlds, and those are 5 well-populated worlds. That's a lot of food. It's a lot of society research. Now your army damage is increased from being devouring swarm by 40%. So you drop your armies on planets, and they can really like knock out your opponents faster. Your research speed is increased by 20% to biology, so you can study that particular brand of society research if you want to do study genetics, which is really important for the devouring swarm, because if you're going to be a hive mind, chances are you're going to be going for the biological ascendancy to modify your species and modify other species' genetics makeup, at least for right now. So that's very beneficial for getting through that entire tech tree on the society research. This is also very beneficial with the research speed, because if you were to get the exploration tradition and also the technological ascendancy, those give you a plus 20% as a combination to research speed. So that 20% plus this biology 20% will give you plus 40% research speed to biology. So this is really cool. One other thing, with every pop that you have on your worlds, it costs you tradition points. It costs to research certain traditions. It costs you unity, pretty much. So it takes a longer time for your unity to build up to get certain traditions. This takes that away because they're your food. They're not really considered your pops. So that means that your traditions cost a lot less when you claim worlds, which is different from other ones. It's pretty much if you play any other species, any aliens in your space, on your planets, will cost you on traditions. It will increase the cost of traditions. So that's one thing about being devouring swarm that makes it great. It's a very challenging path to play, but it's worthwhile. And with things like the adaptability, that's great. Another thing I did was with traits, I made them rapid breeders. So I gave them a plus 15% to growth speed. Now you might be thinking, of all the things to focus on, why rapid growth speed? You can make them stronger. You could make them, let's say, like thrifty or industrious. There's a lot you can do instead of making them adaptive, making them rapid breeders, because you already get those bonuses from being a hive mind. But I feel it's really important to say it's good to take a bonus and make it an even bigger bonus. So right now, as a hive mind, you get a plus 25% to growth speed. If you go with rapid breeders, that gives you another 15%, which means you get a bonus to 40% growth speed. Which means, again, you can colonize worlds very quickly. So with a combination of habitability and growth speed, if you go all out on adaptability and on growth speed, well, habitability and growth speed, you can colonize worlds very quickly. You can fill those worlds very quickly, which means that you can take advantage of those mineral tiles quickly. You can take advantage of those energy tiles quickly. You can take advantage of those research tiles quickly, and it's just incredible. You can do so much more if you can habitate those worlds faster. And you're also, I should mention that the more food you have, the faster your species will populate a planet as well, which is beneficial for hive minds because since they purge and they consume, you can boost your growth speed even more so the more food the more species you eat. And once you start eating those species, you have to take those planets that you hit before they all disappear and you lose those planets. So that's another thing that's important about being able to colonize any planet, is because if you, let's say, if you happen to be alpine world species and you conquer a species that are focused on that live on tropical worlds, it's really hard for you to colonize their planets, and you might lose those planets. But with the adaptability that I gave you here, you can start off right away, claiming any world you want to, and being able to colonize those worlds and colonize those worlds quick. So this is good. This is good to do. And I'll say this because you're going to be under attack right away, and your only options are to either cede or I think pretty much cede. You really can't vassalize, so you can humiliate, or you can cede worlds. You can't liberate. As a hive mind, you can't liberate, I don't believe. So yeah, if someone attacks you, and chances are you're gonna get attacked. Everyone in the galaxy is gonna try to kill you. It's good to be able to cede worlds quickly, colonize their planets quickly, fill up your worlds quickly, get as much resources from those planets that you take quickly. And so this making your species very adaptable and growth speed very fast just improves your ability to colonize multiple worlds that expand quickly. And so I hope that's if you don't agree, let me know. Give me your thoughts on the best way of crafting a hive mind species. But I think this is a pretty good approach. I also made them projectile weapon focus, simply because it does damage to armor and to shields. Energy weapons, not so great with shields, but great against armor. And I figure if you're going to be going up against everything that comes your way, it's good to be able to have a balanced approach to both shields and armor, at least in the beginning. Later on you can research plasma technology and disruptor technology, and then this kind of becomes, not really necessary, but yeah, I must say that that's the best approach. Also, if you're going to be a hive mind, if you're going to be under attack right away, it's good to have projectile weapons. And I figured for fast and light travel, a good hive mind uses wormhole travel. Here's why. Again, everyone's going to hate you. As a devouring swarm, they need to survive, and you threaten everyone's existence. So, if you go warp travel, it's very slow. You travel to a planet, and then you have that certain time period where you're winding down, where you're cooling down, and that's terrible. It's one of the slowest methods of travel. It's very free-flowing, but again, it's very slow, and you need to be able to travel quickly when you're playing this kind of campaign. Hyperspace is fast, but it's so indirect that if one of your systems comes under attack, you're very vulnerable because you're too busy jumping from this system to this system to this system to this system just to get over here. With wormhole travel, you can jump from here to here to here, and you travel quite quickly. You can just jump from this system to this system once you get to wormhole 3, but it's faster. It takes a bit more micromanaging of putting wormhole stations in spots, but you can travel greater distances with wormhole travel a lot faster, and you need to be able to jump from system to system quick when you're playing a species that attracts a lot of negative attention. You need to be able to get where you need to be very quickly. And again, with hyperspace travel, jumping from system to system to system isn't great because if you have rivals, they're not going to let you do their space. So it really cuts your travel, cuts your ability to get where you need to be, and you're going to be stuck you're going to be trapped in your space. But with wormhole travel, all you're focused on is the range of your stations, so you can jump past other empires and get to where you need to be. And so that's, again, it's very beneficial for you to be able to, I think wormhole's the best method of travel for that kind of campaign. I think that's about it. Again, let me know what you think, and who knows. Yeah, as I say this, every single species that I make in this short series I want to play because they crafted them pretty well in my own mind. And I almost want to see them all go against each other also. But let me know what you think, and don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to... Oh, actually I did forget one thing. I did go with the 1 mind civic because it gives you a bonus of 15% to monthly unity. And I think it doesn't hurt to have a little bit more unity because you're going to be spending, you're going to be trying to get those traditions. Those traditions really help you out when you're trying to expand, when you're trying to reduce, the cost of your buildings and your ships, and get all the ascension perks that make the game better for you. So that's that. Anyway, have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this episode. God be with you.